energy to be as loud as the disrespect was. That's all I need. It was a bad shot, but he was out of rhythm as well.
Don't try to take up. That was a bad
Man, he
shot.
was out of rhythm though.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Kendall. I'm here with my man Khalil, and this is another episode of the Wild Card. My man, we won the Magic City Classic.
Like I said,
oh man,
I said it. I claimed it. I said we were gonna win the Classic before the year. I told you it was gonna happen.
You did.
I spoke it into existence.
It wasn't by no 50, but you called it. I'll give you that.
We held them scores in the second half, I believe. No, we didn't.
There you go, getting the stats wrong already.
Let's get some more people in here though. But I'm very excited that we won a very emotional pulling game.
Oh, for sure.
The way
Definitely was.
The tale of two halves is so real. It is so real.
Yeah.
I get this going. Like I said, as usual, you want to donate to the cause, get us rolling. We appreciate all donations.
Now wait to talk about the Magic City Classic, man.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised there wasn't more coverage on the fact that we won, but there was more. Y'all gave us more coverage on the fact that about the whole thing from homecoming than the fact that we won the Magic City Classic, which was a fairly significant win in my opinion.
Yep, definitely was.
I think it should have got more coverage than it did, especially the way y'all dogged our coach at the beginning of the season. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. It didn't get nearly as much coverage as it should have. The win didn't get nearly as much coverage as it should have.
Mm-hmm.
And man, it's crazy when you get all of this type of attention when stuff go wrong, but then when stuff go right,
nobody's here.
Yeah,
there has to be a balance.
Mm-hmm.
I was just so disappointed in that. I was really thinking that I was gonna be able to go on YouTube and get a good recap of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it's what we're here for, right? I guess
I love taking advantage of it.
Oh yeah,
I love taking advantage of it.
Because nobody on YouTube has really, covered that victory at all.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since it wasn't like it was an irrelevant game. Both the teams still had a chance to compete for
sure. I mean, what is it? Number 3, number 4, number 2, and number 4 in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big game.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that y'all comment in the comment section. And we probably gonna wait until we got 10 people in here. So we got 2, and then we're gonna start getting into it. So make sure y'all, it's on and popping.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, man. My man Houdini came through the same day, man. And by the way, rest in peace to Offset, man. Rest in peace, Offset. Takeoff for that.
Absolutely.
Rest in peace, Takeoff.
Takeoff.
For sure. Very surprising, heartbreaking news. Wake up 2 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 10 people here, man.
All right, buddy. Let's roll.
None other. Let's talk about it. We got the victory, man.
Yes,
we got the victory in the Magic City Classic. Like I said, very emotional pulling game.
Mm-hmm.
It started off very ugly for us. Made me think that, okay, it's just another year of us struggling. It's going to be, a 5th straight win for them.
Yeah.
But ones that you see right here, my boy Jeremiah and Houdini connect with touchdown. We got a victory. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great for a lot of different reasons. I think the biggest one right now is when you lose to a team 4 straight years and you have opportunity after opportunity to beat them and don't, it sucks. When you finally pull off that win, man, it was crazy. The fans went crazy, the team went crazy. It was just great to see, and I think it was our best win of the season.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was definitely a much needed win.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna bring up something a little bit later in this. I'm sorry, ESPN. This segment that's gonna that I want you to think about. I want the fans to react this as well.
All right.
But like I said, it was a very, very ugly first half.
It was.
You could make the argument that we should have gotten beat by a fairly significant margin, but also I think that the teams were closer. They were more similar than different. A&M and ASU, that is. I think that A&M has the same struggles that we have offensively, but their defense came to play. They were really, shutting us down. We didn't look in rhythm. Demetrius was out of whack the whole game. He talked about, he really like a true freshman in that game.
I mean, honestly, I don't know how much I give that to A&M's defense. I think it's more so the fact that Dede in the offense didn't look settled. I think Dede you could tell that he was kind of going through the motions as far as, oh, do I want to throw this? Do I want to run this type of thing? And then I think also, I don't know if it was A&M's first touchdown or not, but the pass that got tipped and ran in for a touchdown, he wasn't. You could tell he wasn't all the way there. He wasn't as electric as he normally is. He wasn't as relaxed as he normally is. And then he was getting hit too. So I mean that didn't help. But yeah, so I don't know if I give A&M the defense.
I mean I think that if you were really paying attention to the game, their front four and front five, the pressure they were bringing, they were rotating a lot. And I think it was throwing us off. But personally, I'm gonna be real, and y'all can all attest to this. Our offensive line is so bad, you don't even have to do all that. It didn't. You could have rushed 3 and got to Demetrius and got to Ja'Cory and Santo and Jawan and all that. It didn't take all that. It doesn't take much to get past our offensive line. Like I said, me and this guy to get past our offensive line if it came down to it, in my opinion. But
I think they did a lot of shifting. I don't know if you guys really paid attention to what A&M's defensive line was doing, but they did a lot of shifting too, and that can mess up offensive assignments and stuff like that as far as who blocks who. And I mean, like you said, I don't know how much they really had to do with that in order to get that pressure, but they did it, and I think it worked to their advantage. But I think the later on you got down to the end of the game, the more we kind of showed that doesn't matter. Like we started operating quicker.
I mean, I wouldn't even say we started operating better, but we finally started testing their DBs. That's something we didn't. If you go back and look at the second half, we weren't pushing the ball in the field. And then you see they got a little bit too handsy, and that's when you get the pass interference. I don't even think that it was about. I mean, Demetrius made some great throws, and our receivers uncharacteristically were dropping usually catch.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that Keyshawn dropped a couple passes, Darius dropped a couple passes. I think our receivers struggled in that first half, and that was a big reason as to why our offense lacked. Our running backs also didn't get the big plays that they usually get.
Yeah, our running game wasn't there pretty much at all as far as like at least consistency. It didn't matter who was running the ball, Jawan, Ja'Cory.
Usually, at least one of them can get something going.
And that's always what's been so good about the team is, all right, it doesn't matter if it's just it doesn't matter if Ja'Cory's struggling or if it doesn't matter if Santo's struggling. We have 2 other backs that can get something.
Yep.
But this wasn't the game for that, and it kind of took a little bit more running back by committee type thing. So I think that was one of the things.
Demetrius played a big role in the running game too. As you can see earlier, this was the most I've probably seen it, considering that he took 3 weeks off, essentially, I want to say. Yeah. Jack State was 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. Either way, he's basically had about a month off football. And it seems like he has had the opportunity to really – you could tell he had been watching a little bit of film, and he was a lot more decisive in what he wanted to do, especially in the second half. He looked like this is what they're playing. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to force any pass, because he didn't force any passes in the second half. I think in the first half, it was forcing passes. He was trying to, make the big play because we were down. In the second half, he more took what the defense gave him. And they
gave him a lot.
Yeah.
They gave him a lot. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if y'all was paying attention to the game like that, like the way that Alabama A&M was running their defense. But what was I saying? What was I saying in the press box when we were up there? How do you play cover 0 or man to man on the outside wide receivers and just no safety help whatsoever?
And they were doing the whole final drive.
That's what I'm saying. I've never seen something like that before in my life.
But they're also the team that has 3 and 4, a bunch of 3 and 4 star DBs apparently, and they were all getting beat by. We don't even have our top receiver out there. Jeremiah was cooking. And if you remember last year's Majesty Classic game, Jeremiah got off again in that game, which is why I saw early in the first half, y'all pay attention. Jeremiah was not complaining, but he was open, and Demetrius didn't see him. And if you look at his post-game interview, Jeremiah said, "I told Demetrius I'm open, and Demetrius said, I got you." As you can see, once Jeremiah got the opportunity, he executed.
Well, I think one of the issues that I feel like stems from the offensive line not being as productive is that Demetrius can't go through his progressions the way that he should be able to. A go route takes time. You can't just throw a go route and then just it takes a little bit of time to develop, especially if you get a little bit of if the DB gets a little bit of contact at the line. So those long type of routes take time, and Demetrius usually doesn't have the time to throw the ball the way that he should.
I want to say this. Coach Robinson, if you're listening, ASU fans, if you're listening, Kendall already told you this. If we bring back the same offensive line next year, I'm going to go to Jackson Hospital and check in. I promise you, because there's no way all 5 of the starters on the offensive line, with the exception of maybe one at the most, have to be gone. It's unacceptable how much they struggled in the game. How much every single time Demetrius draws back, he's getting hit. Every time Ja'Cory runs the ball, he's running through 4 and 5 defenders. Now, granted, his vision has to get better. I think he tries to do a little bit too much sometimes, or sometimes not enough. Our offense is never going to. You're never see how good our offense is if our offensive line struggles. There's Jeremiah, Levante, Santo, all these guys we have.
It's a lot of
we
talent,
can't even get them the ball because nobody's blocking.
And I think I never really understood why the
I'm going to return.
We're doing a show right now.
As I was saying, I never really understood why the offensive. I never really understood why the offensive.
Let me do this real quick. Go ahead, Kendall.
So basically, what I was about to say is, I never understood if it's the offensive line. The issues that they have is not just with scheme, because you can tell some of the times, especially with blitz packages, they struggle to kind of they struggle to pick up blitzers. Blitzing is a big issue, and Jeremiah or Demetrius has been injured a couple of times because of that. And so I think that is something that the offensive line definitely has to improve on. But I think it goes deeper than just coaching too, because that's something that they have to pick up. You can't just have your offensive line, all right, we got to coach you guys up, whatever, but they can't pick up blitz packages. So, and I plan on doing a film breakdown too about that, and I think that that's something that's really gonna shed some light on some of the issues that they have. Because Demetrius, I mean, if you remember, he got injured on a play like that. So I feel like that's something that we have to kind of address, but they have to know that. And if the offensive line doesn't know that, then come on. That's why we call it the wild
It's
card.
something every week. Yeah. If it's not the Wi-Fi, it's somebody walking in. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me get back into the camera. I'm sorry. I'm back. Kendall, film break now. You gotta do it, man. You gotta let them know you're gonna do it.
Oh, I already told him. See, this is why you need to be paying attention.
Pay attention. We just had somebody walk in on the show.
You go, bro.
All right. Jesus Christ. I'm tired. But like Kendall, what will you say about the offensive line? I'm trying to get back.
I was saying that they struggle with like blitz pickup and stuff like that. Some of that is stuff that they have to know on the field. And that's also the quarterback also has responsibilities for that too. But at the end of the day, you kind of have to, that type of stuff you can't necessarily coach all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I can't sit here and tell you, yo, you got to pick up this dude that's literally in his gap. If a dude's in an A gap, I can't tell you to pick him up during the play. You do that.
Yeah.
And they.
But I told you this at the beginning of the year when you were over here talking about Demetrius has to recognize some of this stuff. Demetrius has to worry about the routes. I mean, that's a job of a quarterback, obviously. But at the same time, he can't control everything going on. I'm not saying he has to control everything, but if you're talking about blitz pickup or you talking about how A&M listen to me real quick. Okay. If you're talking about how A&M was shifting the line and blitz packages and blitz pickup and all of that, it's two people really responsible to know that. The center, I like the stream. The center and the quarterback. Regardless of whatever you're talking about, is the center and the quarterback. Mm-hmm. Now the other lineman can pick it up. But I'm saying the center should be able to see it, and the quarterback should be able to see it. Neither one of them are seeing it. Soon as Demetrius say height, it's over with. But Kendall, I don't know if due to our offensive play calling, I've never seen us make what's an audible. I don't know if that's in our package. So if he's giving Demetrius the setup or in the headset saying, Demetrius, okay, all about this, check out this. I've never seen us check out of a play ever. So I don't know if we can tell Demetrius to even change the coverage because I don't know if he's getting it from there. That's what I'm saying though. That type of thing doesn't come from it. It's not an audible. That's just and you're making an observation, and even if you're just pointing it out, that's not an audible. An audible is a change in the play. Kendall. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Kendall. That doesn't come from up Kendall. Here. What's up? You experienced this past weekend. If I Thank you. Get you an order from IHOP. Okay. And the order is incorrect. Uh-huh. And I tell you, I don't have what you want. Mm-hmm. What are you gonna do? You're gonna leave. My point is, How are we going to expect these things from Demetrius if it's not even in the play sheet? If he's not getting told these things?
It's some things that you can't tell a quarterback. Some things a quarterback's supposed to know. That's why the quarterback is the most important position on the field.
Have you ever seen them make a check anyways, though? Ever?
And that's the issue. That's what
but
I'm
is that
saying.
on him? I think he has the IQ.
So then make the call. That's
Kendall.
not something that a
Kendall.
coach has to tell you. That's what I'm trying
If
to
it's
tell
not,
you.
if he says it and they don't know what he's talking about, what good is they gonna do?
Okay. Is he not making the call, or do they not know what he's talking about? Because now you're saying both.
Okay, first of all, he's not wearing the quarterback sleeve, right? He doesn't wear that.
Khalil, that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's for plays. You're
But
not
you can
changing
still-
a play up.
you can
You're changing
still-
up the.
Audible out of. You can still check out of it. I don't know if that's even in the package. I don't know if it's being offered to him. You can't take what's not offered to you. If I'm giving you $100 and you say you want 200, I can't give you 200.
I didn't understand that analogy. I really didn't. But all right, I'm gonna let you have it. Like I said, the film breakdown is gonna kind of show you that though, because if you look at the actual game, they're not making a whole lot of checks. They're not doing a whole lot of this, like, oh, this dude is blitzing, that dude is blitzing.
That's on the offensive coordinator. That's not on Demetrius.
All right, bro. All right. So why is it not on Demetrius though?
If it's not available to him, if he doesn't know what to call because he's not being taught that's stuff that you practice. That's not stuff that you just come up with on the fly.
Okay, fair. So do you think it's the fact that they're not practicing it, or do you think
I just don't think it's available to him. I don't think the offensive coordinator, because it hasn't happened. I can't expect Kendall. I come here every day and I'm the same person you every single day. You're never going to expect anything different. You're not going to expect.
I don't know, bro. You do be having mood swings sometimes.
Okay, that's not the point.
Okay.
But you're going to expect you expect the same thing from me every single day. Literally, you're not going to ever expect me to come in here and do anything different.
Okay.
You can't come in here to expect me to just I dress like this every day. Next day I'm coming here naked.
Okay.
My point. I'm just saying. You literally are. He's not being offered it. He doesn't know because he's not being taught it. He's a at the end of the day, football is teaching. Okay. Coaching is teaching.
Okay.
If they're not being taught it, how do you expect when they get on the test to know the answers to the test? If they don't know the test, if they don't know the answers.
I'm gonna be honest though. At some point in time, you can only get hit but so many times before you be like, all right. Y'all gotta see this.
I think that we've all come to the understanding that the offensive line is bad.
Okay, but there's a reason though. Like some of those, the play we've seen some plays like with Jackson State, some plays where he got injured, or some plays where as soon as the ball's hiked, you got somebody in your face. Or like I said, the play that he got injured, middle linebacker comes straight through the A gap. Literally nobody block him. Center go this way, the left guard go this way, the right guard go this way. Middle. How does a middle linebacker blitz straight down the middle
but
and nobody picks it up?
You also said that was potentially the scheme of the offensive line. What they're being taught, the offensive line coach.
I ain't say scheme. I definitely ain't saying that was part of the scheme.
Remember we talked about last
I did
week?
not. I said that's either due to a miscommunication between the center and the rest of the line, or
that's not Demetrius' fault then.
It's Demetrius not seeing that there's a 6'5", 245-pound man.
It's been happening down all season long. If he
so it's a consistent
Miles
issue.
didn't make the same adjustments as well either. So how do if you see different people doing the same thing, nothing's going to change.
Okay, I will say I've never seen Miles get hit some of the ways that Demetrius has gotten hit. I will say that much. I've never seen that before. Oh, that's not what I've been doing. But yeah.
Exactly. Center has to see the well. It's not just on.
Do you realize that the comments are agreeing with me? You know that, right?
I don't care. I have my opinion.
You can have your opinion.
I'm just saying.
You can have your opinion. Bro.
I'm just saying.
That's fine.
I'm just
That's
saying.
fine.
We kind of went into this already. But when we've had this conversation every single week, why can't we put together a 30-point game? Maybe, and I'm gonna have wishful thinking that against a bad Bethune-Cookman team, we're gonna be able to put up 30 points. I'm just gonna be hopeful. Even though we couldn't put up 30 against Mississippi Valley, I'll say in that second half, our offensive line looked the best it is. I mean, our offense looked probably the most fluent that it's looked all season long.
Put you on that, and that's a very good point. That is a very good point. And that's why I said it. That is exactly why I said it. Teams do not blitz. How do you do this? Oh yeah, teams do not blitz Miles as much as they blitz Demetrius.
Because Demetrius is a mobile quarterback.
Okay, but we're not talking about that. I just told you that I haven't seen Miles be in as many situations with that much pressure coming at him as Dede, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, because they don't blitz. They don't blitz Miles.
So
as
what's
much.
the reason they don't blitz them?
Okay, see, you trying to argue something different, man. Like the stream, man. Show some love. Show some love. Show some love.
What is the reason? Make sure y'all use the Cash App so y'all comment. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Speak up.
And subscribe. My bad, bro. I'm trying.
How you get low
Because
when
I
you
was
talking
getting
about money?
because
Speak
I
up.
was. Make sure y'all drop the Cash App. All that y'all drop some money.
Thank
Cash.
you.
We press donation.
You want to be loud when you
No,
argue
I was
with
trying.
me,
I was
you
trying to
talking
get my
about money.
argument together. I was trying
Alright.
to keep two things going at one time. But you're not answering my question. Why do you think that they don't blitz Miles as much as they blitz Demetrius?
Why would I blitz a non-mobile quarterback?
Kendall. They both go through the same struggles. We both seen both quarterbacks struggle with the offensive line.
Okay. See, that's what I'm saying. You're changing the argument up now. The argument wasn't
The offensive line is just bad. It's not on either one of the quarterbacks.
okay.
Both of them have got behind his offensive line and had the same exact struggles. Neither one has changed. I don't care if you put Tom Brady behind his offensive line. He's going to struggle.
I guarantee you put Tom Brady behind this line though. They don't blitz it. They don't the blitz, the pressure is not as much. I guarantee you.
Kendall.
You want to know why?
Because you can check out of it. You know what I'm saying? Check out of it.
Khalil, I don't see. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if you're using the wrong terminology and that's why you're saying it like this, or I don't know if you really
Make the
think.
protection adjustment on me.
Okay, because that's not an audible. That's not something that you get from somebody else. That's not something that you have to check
How
with
many-
anybody else about. How many what?
How many packages for the offensive line as far as adjustment? How many things you think are available to them as far as because I'm saying if they haven't done it, why would I expect something different? If it was that easy to fix, it would have happened
My man.
back in the first.
My man, they've been getting blitzed. You ain't never lied. They've been getting blitzed. They've been getting blitzed like this all season. Me personally, I haven't seen a game where Dede ain't got blitzed. I know he only played two full games,
Mhm.
but every time he been in the game, he getting blitzed.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Okay,
But I'm saying if it was such a quick, easy fix, they would have done it against Howard. They would have done it by now.
don't get it confused though. Don't get it confused though. I'm not saying the O-line would be perfect. I'm saying the amount of pressure that teams are getting,
Mhm.
like untouched blitzers, that type of thing is not going to happen if they check or if they change protections.
Mhm.
That type of thing isn't going to happen. I'll give you a great example. In Madden, when you see a blitz, you can change protections in Madden, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't do that. I'll agree with that too.
Too many changes in the O-line.
I'll agree with that.
But this was supposed to be all I heard the entire week leading up to this game was this was supposed to be the week that the offensive line was healthy.
Mhm.
If that's the best you have to offer, if that is the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme, we are in trouble.
I'll agree with you on that. We got to get better. We definitely got to get better. I think another issue with our team, and we talked about this before, with the offense at least, is you cannot have your offense, or you can't have your wide receivers running long routes
Mhm.
with the offensive line.
But it helped them out in the second half though, because those long routes turned into pass.
That's
interference.
because you got cover zero. I know my receiver is better than your DB.
Mhm.
Demetrius was throwing these balls to the last 3 touchdowns or the last 2 touchdowns.
Wilson had 4 touchdowns to be fair, because Jeremiah had 1, Keyshawn had 2, which y'all called back, and then the last one, obviously, so he should have had 4. But
If
my guy.
if I can give you one move, which is what Jeremiah did and is what Keyshawn did, if I can give you one move and beat your DB, Demetrius just threw it up.
You know what? Maybe there's some bad offensive line, showing in these little highlight mix we got. But let's see.
We can look at it.
Let's see. Look. Already somebody on the edge. Somebody on the edge about to hit him right
I'm
there.
hip.
On the edge. Look.
But you see what happened though, right? You see how quick he threw the ball. That was less than 3 seconds.
Now look. Watch this play right here. Watch the next play. Look. Oh, okay. That was good protection right there. That was good protection. Okay, not the point.
That's quick
We'll
plays
see your
though.
film breakdown.
But that's quick plays though. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But that's a long route as well, like you just said.
no, Khalil, he threw the ball with 3 seconds.
Can't do it.
He literally beat his man
Can't
off
do
the
it.
line.
I know he did.
So if
But
it's a cover, if it's 0, you don't have any safety help.
Mhm.
He beat his man off the line. You can throw that anytime.
Mhm.
He just lobbed it up. That's not hard.
Can't do it.
That's
But
what I'm trying to tell you.
my
No matter
point-
how bad your offensive line is, 3-second routes. It's
My point to you is this: if he had been getting offensive line protection all season, he'll be leading this back in touchdown passes.
You said what?
If he had been getting offensive line protection like he did in that second half all season, he would be leading us back in touchdown passes.
I disagree.
I agree.
I disagree with that.
I agree.
Reason why I disagree with that is because I've seen him miss some throws too.
I've also seen receivers. Your favorite receiver, Jalen Lay, who is 6'6", so we talk about every single week, drop all these passes. You catch a pass on 4th down, you get hit one time, even though you're 6'6", 250. Like, what is that? What is this?
First of all, you keep talking about Jalen like he's gotten a whole lot of targets. You're basing this
He
off
was about to get him that game, and when you got the opportunity,
you're basing this off of three drops.
and they were big drops. You dropped the pass against Jackson State. You dropped the pass in the Classic that was a 4th down conversion. You dropped he consistently does not make plays. He's a blocker. That's all he is. He does not execute for the team.
As a pass catcher, and he is out for the season.
That's great. I mean, that's not great. Not saying that.
You was talking about the first thing I said. Rest up, though, bro. Hope you heal up and get healthy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it that way, but I'm just not a big fan of this. I think that we need better tight end receivers. Tight ends.
So that's another thing with me is, and about what I was saying about shorter routes. You can't have your wide receivers running post routes, running corner routes, running go routes consistently. We like to line up in doubles and in trips and stuff like that. You can't have them. It's like there's no happy medium sometimes.
Love Dylan.
It's like there's no. Oh, for sure. It's like there's no happy medium sometimes, because sometimes they'll run that the doubles on both sides, and then they'll run like some
the play
jailbreak screen.
The play calling can be very, very questionable sometimes. I don't think with the combination of the offensive line, Demetrius being a first-year starter, and the play calling, it's a terrible mix sometimes.
I think with sometimes it will work a lot better if you had a better offensive line. Because for one, Dede can't go through his progression the way that he needs to.
He did in that second half, like I said though.
And for two, but I mean the progression really, some of them touchdown plays, that's not that he didn't really have a.
When he went
to his first throw.
Yeah.
In his progression, he went to his first throw.
Mm-hmm.
That I guarantee you, if there was not going to be a surveying of the field for some of those throws, it was all right. Jeremiah got to go route. All right, Keyshawn got to go route. That was it. Like it wasn't no. I'm gonna throw this somewhere else. The ball was going where it was going. That was it.
But when he had the time and had the opportunity to really make the play and scramble at the backfield, he did look off some type of some routes.
For sure.
What's this? My opinion, Miles.
You can't really tell who the better quarterback is because both of them are behind a struggling offensive line. If both of them had I still think Demetrius is better because that's my guy.
So how you gonna say?
But I'm saying if you have a fair opportunity behind an offensive line that's gonna be good.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious.
You've been saying Dede was miles better than Miles all year.
I still think that Demetrius is the better quarterback.
Okay, so how you gonna contradict yourself then?
I'm not contradicting. There's a thing called evolution and realizing what's happening, and I am far from delusional.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Whatever. Big threat. I really do think his size, his route running ability. We talked about him being a deep ball threat, and we talked about having a deep ball threat on this offense.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times I think when we were talking about Levante Chenault, who unfortunately he tore his MCL, so he's out for the season as well.
When he plays next year, it's gonna be problems. I still think we need a deep threat receiver though. We need a guy that can just use his speed strictly.
I think we need a consistent, I think what you're talking about is a burner. I think we need somebody that can just run past somebody and just be over.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. But as far as Keyshawn is concerned, no, I definitely think that he has the ability to not only be a big target, but he also has the ability to run some pretty good routes too. So I think that makes him that much more dangerous.
Demetrius has only played 2 full games as well, so we can't really tell.
I told you that. The potential thing.
Okay, that's cool. That's great. But let me say my point.
Okay, that's cool.
Let me
That's
say my
great.
point.
Oh, okay. All right. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Let me say my point. We haven't had that was only Demetrius' second time playing a full game, if I'm mistaken, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second or third time. So comparing him to Andrew Body, I think right now Demetrius is a better quarterback than Andrew Body because Andrew's accuracy isn't. But I think Demetrius is better throw the ball. Andrew he has more experience as far as playing time, but Demetrius hasn't had a body of work to actually show what kind of quarterback he is. To compare him to somebody right now.
I'm gonna let you have that.
That's true because
That's what I was saying.
if you pay attention to the Howard game, most of the passes he caught were down the field.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the offensive line holds back the potential of the offense.
For sure. I definitely think that's the case. And I think it makes it that much more difficult. When we were talking about the offensive play calling last year.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that we did a lot was we had a lot of room for tight ends and short routes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Offensive line wasn't the best last year either. But one thing that Ryan Nettles, Miles Crowley, and Joe Owens was able to do,
Mm-hmm.
where they were able to kind of target those tight ends a lot more, similar to how like you think of Lamar Jackson when his favorite receivers are tight ends. It's a lot easier when you're kind of moving around or when you have a line that's not the best to target those type of receivers because they're running shorter routes. They're running maybe 5-10 yard slants, draws over the middle. They're not doing a whole lot of stuff.
Andrew Body is not. I like him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We're a fan of him on the show.
Yeah, for sure.
But at the same time, we've seen him. He has a lot of deficiencies.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Demetrius have some of the same deficiencies, I would say.
There's definitely some similarities there.
Yeah, I think Demetrius is a better runner of the ball because I think he's a little bit quicker, a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
mobile.
He's definitely more elusive.
Yeah, but Andrew is nothing that's just you don't look at him and say if you put both of them behind us in the same situation,
Mm-hmm.
you're not saying Andrew's miles better than Demetrius. If he is better, it's not by a lot.
I think, like you said, I do think it's kind of difficult to gauge exactly how good Dede can be.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 2 full games is a very small sample size. Mm-hmm. Has he made some good plays when
comment, subscribe?
Has he made some good plays when he played in previous games? Yeah, but he's also made some pretty bad plays too. So I mean, I think that's like I've been saying since this year started. Those are things that he's a freshman.
You see his development though. Yeah. Like you saw from the first half to the second half, he paid attention and he grew from the first half to the second half as a player. He made some adjustments of his own, as you could tell.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something I was very impressed with. We're gonna get to this. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and do it now. We talked about the offense enough.
Yeah, might as well.
This brings me to this question, man. And let me know what y'all think. Because I think right now, based off this season of a full body of work, if you look at what Colson Adams has done, Bubba, he's the best defensive player in the SWAC. Y'all can go talk about Isaiah Land all you want to, and we're gonna get to see that matchup, week after that. I think that Colson has been the best defensive player in the SWAC this season, and I think he deserves to win Defensive Player of the Year.
I'm gonna read you his stats real quick because I had to make sure I pulled this up. I'm gonna read you his stats real quick. So this man has 85 total tackles, 6.5 as a linebacker, 6.5 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 8 games. This man has not played 8 games in what he's played 2 seasons before this. He hasn't played 8 games in 2 seasons.
And he's good, but he's not Bubba. You have to give Bubba the benefit of the doubt that he's not playing with the same amount of deep. No disrespect, we have a lot of dogs on defense, but we don't have as much defensive talent as Jackson State.
Yeah, consistent talent.
Yeah, Jackson State has consistent, 4 stars, 3 stars on defense.
Mhm.
Bubba is doing a lot more with less. He's leading defense. He's as a middle linebacker, he is carrying his defense sometimes.
So one of the things that I really love about this is that he's like this comment says right here, health has been his biggest issue. And one of the things that I really love about him now is when he's healthy, hey, it's nothing that you can do. All right, he's not gonna cover no crazy long wheel route. He's not gonna do anything crazy in coverage. But one of the things he's gonna do is he's gonna smack you.
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to do is he gonna blitz you?
Yeah.
And then another thing he's gonna do is he's gonna shore up tackles. You rarely see him miss tackles, at least consistently.
Mm-hmm.
So I've talked about the linebacking core with him and Damaris Bellamy.
Yeah.
I love that linebacking core.
Mm-hmm.
But to see Colton finally be able to prayerfully play a full season, but to play all the games so far
At a high level too.
man, he's playing lights out. He's been really, really good. I think he had 15 tackles in the last game alone. He's been great. He's been really good.
Yeah, he's definitely. I just don't see how he can't win SWAC Defensive Player of the Year with the way you can legit make an argument. And stats aren't going to base off the UCLA game. Our stats are kind of skewed.
Mm-hmm.
You could legit make the argument that we have the second best defense in the SWAC behind Jackson State.
I definitely think it's up there. And I mean, it's not Bubba's my favorite to win like an all SWAC or defensive player of the year type. But I think we have so many different weapons on the defensive side of the ball that definitely don't get enough credit for sure. But you got to think we talked about Adrian Maddox a lot already.
That's one thing, Bubba, is that he's made the other players around him better, I believe, too.
And I think it makes it easier when you have consistent linebacker play that's like, all right, this middle, I got y'all. Mm-hmm. Even on the defensive line side of the ball, if they're not getting as much pressure as they need to, all right, Bubba's going to fill in some holes. Bubba's going to do this. Bubba's going to do that. Damaris helps with that too. And then it automatically makes the secondary that much better too.
Yeah.
When you have dogs at all three levels of a defense, you're especially a defense that runs what do we run, like a 4-2-5, a 5-2-4, something like that. When you have that many secondary players on the field, you gotta have sure tackling.
Yeah.
And one of the things I don't necessarily
our tackles got better this season too.
For sure. I don't necessarily think that Ershad Davis has been worse than he was last year. I just think that since Bubba is there, he doesn't have to be the primary. All right, I have to come downhill every time.
And you also have the benefit of Adrian Maddox, who I believe is one of the best. I think he's the best
SWAC freshman of the year by far. I have to say SWAC freshman of the year.
Yeah. But I'm just like our defense has gotten better throughout the season. The first game against Howard, we were like, it's the same defense. But let's talk about this question right here. Who do you think is the weak link? I don't think we have a weak link. We have a position. And it's crazy to say that I believe that our defensive tackle position does not. I hate that. I don't know. Can y'all still hear us? Y'all still see us?
I think
we're with it. I haven't seen enough consistent push from our defensive tackles. Enough pressure on the quarterback. That's what I think is.
If I had to say one thing, I definitely think that we could get more pressure. We could benefit from having more pressure.
Our edge do. Our defensive ends do. Really, Steph Roll, he does a really good job up the edge against the quarterback. He did really good against Jackson State and against A&M this past weekend.
And I mean, it's not like they haven't been pretty good in some games, because they have. Brandon Gaddy, that's somebody that we talked about a lot. Like
I would love to see more from him, because he just hasn't. He flashes, but it's not.
It's not like a consistent. All right, this is the best defensive lineman on the field.
Yeah, I want him to dominate his matchup. Yeah. He does not do that enough.
I think with secondary also we got your boy Keenan Isaac. I mean, we've been talking about him a lot too. He's one of those.
Whoever's playing opposite him usually struggles.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that I told you I was a little concerned about with the secondary at the beginning of the season was that they don't get beat a lot, or at least last year they didn't get beat a lot. But when they did, it was always for big plays. The Auburn game, like I'll always hang my hat on the fact that our defense played a really good game against Auburn last year, even though it was 62-0. And I say that because not only did we hold that team to 20-0 at the beginning of the game, but a lot of those plays just come off of the defense just being on the field all the time.
Yeah.
but they're not. If you notice, they're not getting beat deep as much as they used to.
Mhm.
They used to get beat deep because like they weren't staying in phase. They weren't keeping their man at the whole time.
They got beat on that one play, but that was more of a bust.
Exactly, and I think
tackles.
they definitely shirred that type of stuff up. So that makes them a lot better. But you know,
We're very similar to Jackson State's defense in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
Once we give up, you can. The only difference is we give up field goals, and they pretty much, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out.
Mhm.
We're giving up probably one big play a game.
and that's when the bend but don't break type of mentality that I think this defense had last year with Donald Hill Ely and I think still has to an extent this year. I feel like that's where it kind of hurts them a little bit because, like you said, one of the biggest measurements of a defense is points. Field goals are points. So I mean, it's kind of skewing the way that the defense is playing. But fourth down stops, they make a lot of fourth down stops. They do a lot of fourth and goal stops. All of that type of stuff. I think that it makes a big difference.
Can we talk about him for a second? The point I brought you. A&M has a problem. We talk about how Coach Maynard is an offensive guru with a sweat. How obviously he played quarterback at NCAT. But if you really pay attention to their what's happened since he's been in the last 5 years, he didn't recruit Akil Glass. Akil Glass was a very good SWAT quarterback, one of the probably second best in SWAT last year. But that wasn't his guy. He walked into that. He hasn't recruited a good quarterback yet. Mm-hmm. As you can see, Xavier Langford, Quincy Casey, they were solid, but they're not anything that's just blowing me away. I think that they have a lot of potential. They have some great offensive weapons, but that if you don't have that quarterback position screwed up, then you're going to continue to struggle. At some point, you're going to have to really evaluate Coach Maynard and say, okay, you're 3-5 this season. You have another season like this because I don't think you still got to play Jackson State. So you're going to be 3-6 or something. You still got other. I don't think they play FAMU yet. You think I don't think they have. Either way, they got some more losses coming. I'm not a big fan. I'm not sure how much Coach Maynard lasts at A&M personally. Yeah, that's not his. When I hire an offensive-minded coach like Coach Maynard, I expect my offense to be good. I shouldn't have any questions offensively.
Yeah, they played FAMU.
They already played them. So what's their remaining schedule? That's tough. That's 2 tough games.
They play Mississippi. They play Valley on Thursday.
Jackson and Texas Southern.
Yeah.
So you got one guaranteed win for sure, probably. But those last 2 games, you could legit finish the season at 4-8. That's not good. Especially the way they started the season off, getting blown out by UAB.
4-7.
4-7. That's a fireable offense. Especially when you talk about you didn't recruit your quarterback. Especially if you come in next year to have the same result.
I'm not gonna lie. I did like their play calling. Offensively, I did. I think one of the things that we had been talking about, and you already touched on it, was the quarterback position for them. We've been talking about that since SWAC Media Day when they did.
That's why I didn't fear them this season.
So I think that the play calling was fine. I'll still hang my hat on the fact that I don't think in the situation that they were in, I'm not playing cover 0 with no safety up. Mm-hmm. I think that was more of a detriment to them than the offense was for them personally, especially since the offense got on us early. At least for one of the touchdowns. The other touchdown was defense, obviously, but.
But if you really pay attention to the game, you brought this up to me because I didn't even think about it. A&M didn't score 17 points on us offensively. It scored 10. The touchdown they scored was a pick 6. So the score, if you take away that 7, it's 24-10. So their offense wasn't great at all by any stretch. They had good play calling, but our defense was just better than theirs.
Now I would have loved to see that quarterback play. That is true. We don't know how he would have played. I would have loved to see him play. I think we've kind of seen situations where you kind of just have to throw things together, especially when something like that happens.
Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, donate to the Cash App.
Or mid off season when things are going, when you're ready to re up for the season. So I would have loved to see how he would have played. But those are ifs. Those are so we got to go off what we have.
Maynard ain't sweat. I'm not answering that question.
Um, they lose Sheshy for sure. No chance. Yeah, I could definitely see a blowout there. But he wasn't on the roster coming to the season. So your starting quarterback was whoever was on the roster. We've addressed this. We just talked about Bobo. He definitely deserves defense player. But I got something I want to tell you.
So,
Given what Coach Robinson expectations that he had coming into the season, we talk about how everybody was joking, talking about how he was, real estate agent. People project us to finish like 4th or 5th in our division. It's probably bottom towards the end of the whole SWAC.
Mhm.
I think if Coach Robinson wins out, he deserves SWAC Coach of the Year, based on expectations. Because everybody knew coming to the season, Jackson State was going to be really good. The SEC if it came down to giving Nick Saban Coach of the Year every year, he won every year.
Mhm.
You can't give Coach. You can give him one more, But I think Coach Robinson, based on the cards that he was dealt and the situation he's put himself in, exceeding expectations, he could legit be in that race.
I could agree with you on that. I could definitely agree with you on that. And I think like you said, it speaks to expectations for one. Like you said, we didn't come in here with a lot of expectations.
What do y'all think about that? Coach Robinson being Go ahead.
If you saw the reaction of people when he first got hired, we've talked about that before as well. It wasn't really anything. Like people were kind of laughing at it pretty much. And now you see he put together a big Magic City Classic win that we haven't been able to do in 4 years.
He's 2-1 in big games this year.
So I think that definitely speaks to him, but I think it also speaks to the team itself, the team that he put together. Recruiting wise and his coaching staff, they put together the talent, and I think
injuries killed.
Injuries on the offense, and I think injuries on the offense kind of hindered them, but I think on the defensive side of the ball, it definitely made a big difference. I think that's the biggest thing for me.
We're not gonna do this too unprofessional thing. We still legit have a chance to if we need some help, obviously, from we need some help from Jackson State's upcoming opponents starting this weekend. I think Texas Southern could potentially give them a good game. But if you can finish the season 8-3, especially, the only thing that hurts me right now is this, Kendrick. That Prairie View A&M game. That Prairie View game really came back to haunt us right now. Because if we would have only had one loss in the SWAC, I think Coach Robinson would definitely be in that conversation. He's not getting. I want to push that for him. I think he deserves, like I said, based on the talent. Because like you said, he brought in a good balance of still Coach Ely's players, but brought in his own on top of that. So it's a great mixture to fit what they already had.
I agree with you on that for sure. So if I were to grade Coach Robinson on recruiting, I think recruiting I give him a
B.
Yeah, I'll give him a B.
B plus.
I think offensive line, they could have been a lot better. I don't have the listing of all of the recruiting in front of me, but I think the offensive line recruiting wise could have been better, especially since it was one of our biggest weak links last year, as well. But anytime you bring in a former 4-star quarterback, from a school like Auburn, and other players like Chauncey Moore, Demaris Bellamy, Levante Chanel, anytime you bring in players of that caliber, I definitely think that you deserve at least to be player development. I mean, how you just going?
My bad, bro. My bad. Go ahead. I'll go to it in a minute.
Player development. I think that I've seen, if we're talking like players like Adrian Maddox, I think that you've seen development from them because he gets better pretty much every game. He makes impactful plays every game. So I'll probably give him a B for that. Game planning. I feel like with some games our game planning could be a little bit better. The way that we kind of carry out game plans could be better. Especially when you have situations like you had with Demetrius and Miles at the beginning of the season where you're not really sure who's going to play. I kind of would have liked Miles to be a little bit more prepared, or at least have the offense be prepared for Miles to lead it. So I'd probably give that C. And in-game adjustments, I feel like we can make better in-game adjustments, but I think so far, especially in a game like last game, I think that he made pretty good adjustments. So I'll give him like a B plus, A minus for that.
I'm giving him a B all around.
B all around. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was saying about recruiting. I definitely think that was something that could have been better.
Can I go back? Let me get back to this comment.
Oh, all right.
Hold on.
We'll get back to this one.
Trying to find that comment where they said he's only had one big. The Madison Classic was a big win. MEAC SWAC Challenge was a big win. You only lost homecoming. That's it. He's 2-1 in big games. Homecoming is still considered a big game. If he would have been 3-0 those games, it would be case close. But let's hop to that. Classic was a big win, though. That keeps him around for a long time.
We actually are planning on having another show about the basketball team, and I think we said we were talking about the soccer team in that episode too.
Mm-hmm.
That's either gonna happen tomorrow or Thursday.
Yeah,
you thinking? Yeah. So make sure you guys tune in for tomorrow or Thursday. We're gonna be talking about the basketball team. They had a exhibition versus Huntington College last night, and we got a lot of stuff to say about them too. And then the soccer team, they play in the SWAC tournament. I want to say Thursday or Friday,
November 3rd.
Yeah, so in the next couple of days. So we'll definitely be talking about both of them this week too. We want to give them their own show though.
For sure, that was big. That was huge. The struggles we had with special teams this year. That special teams could have won us a lot more games.
So, and I'm pretty sure you're going to agree with me when I say this. I think all three levels played their best game together in the Magic City Classic.
In the second half.
I'm talking about in general. I don't think that I've seen all three levels. Like I said, all three special teams, offense and defense. I don't think I've seen them all play as well as they did in the Magic City Classic.
Mm-hmm.
They made some big plays they needed to do, and I was really happy to see successes like the 49-yard kick. Like that was big.
That was had a lot of momentum behind it
for sure.
Homecoming is I guarantee, maybe I'm mistaken, maybe I'm tripping. I'm sure that's on the incentive list for him. Would you say? Probably winning homecoming is the only incentive.
Oh, yeah.
In your contract, that's probably something that's on there. On defense, what players sell? Demarais, as usual. Adrian, of course, Bubba. Stephon Youngrow always shows out to me. It's really the same players every week, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a lot of it's been a great group effort. Keenan had a really good game. Obviously, he got a touchdown scored on him, but it wasn't, a bad. He was still in the play, so it wasn't.
That was a great. You talking about the 5-yard slant? Oh yeah, the 5-yard slant on the left side of the field. Yeah, that was on Keenan Isaac. That was a great ball. I can't lie to you. I definitely thought that was going to be picked or batted down. That was a great ball by the quarterback. I don't even remember which one threw the ball. But yeah, kudos to him for that. That was a crazy throw.
The challenge is big. If how effective is strong, I'm not sure. I don't think that we came into the season saying that we were going to have any guaranteed wins because there was so much uncertainty about our team.
That I'll give you that. See, that was the thing about Howard that I wasn't as high on, was that Howard wasn't good last year. So I know it was a lot of people that was like, yeah, it's cool, but they weren't that good last year. I think they went like.
They had a really good offense, though.
Yeah, they did, and that was one of the biggest things coming in, that they had a pretty good offense. But I think that it was that was a big win. What other wins did they have?
Miles is a win. Texas Southern was a big win. Just based on how Texas Southern plays throughout the season, they're typically Texas Southern gets up for every single big game they play. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is, but every time, I don't know what it. I don't understand that. Mm-hmm. But
maybe Miss Body can speak that for us because I don't know what it is, but they can win the big games, but the games they when they play, they play down in the competition, kind of like us. This is the first time we actually played. First half we played down to the competition.
I don't even think it was a down to the competition type thing. We didn't shoot ourselves in the foot like how we normally do.
Mm-hmm.
We beat ourselves a lot of times in these games, and I think that was one of the reasons why I've been telling you I didn't put a whole lot of stock into some of these wins that we do have.
Mm-hmm.
I really because
I put stock to the A&M win.
Absolutely,
Okay.
because not only did you show me that you guys can play your best ball, but you've also shown me that you're capable of putting together a game-winning drive.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to ask me,
if
you were to ask me 2 weeks ago, was our offense going to be able to do that? I would have said no. Off rip, I would have said no.
I said that we would have. I said we come down to us having to go to a game-winning drive.
It wasn't going to happen.
It's right.
It wasn't going to happen.
I won't even say that because the man in there, yes, he was a 4-star, but as you know, you can't put too much stock in the stars.
I also think that I think it
make
does.
Sure y'all like, comment, subscribe.
I think it does to an extent when you have somebody of his caliber, at least as a high school player, coming into your program. Mm-hmm. But you also got to think, all right, this dude still hasn't played a game of college football. Mm-hmm. So I think when you have people like you, because you were very high on him when he first was announced.
Yeah.
Saying, all right, he can be the best quarterback in the SWAC. He can do this. He can do that. This is still a freshman quarterback
who hasn't played since high school.
Yes, and so I think that you really have to kind of understand that coming in, that expectations can be high, but you also have to give them time to grow, especially a quarterback in his first year as a starter.
Mm-hmm. I'll give him
a 9.
Yeah, I was about to say 9. They had some lapses for sure. Mm-hmm. That last drive, it shouldn't have come down to that being that close. Mm-hmm. I feel like they should have stopped them a while before that. But we also had some. Let's talk about the discipline, Kendall. That's what I want to talk about. Our discipline is god awful. Why are we getting in their face after we make a play? I understand trash talking, that's part of the game. Mm-hmm. But there's been too many times where we are getting holding calls, late hits, pass interference. Our discipline is so terrible. Like even what was that special teams play when 21 hit the guy, he did something, they were pushing back and forth, he got slammed twice. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about now?
Yeah.
Our discipline is awful. I don't know what Coach Robinson has to do to fix that, but it's been a consistent problem all season long.
That honestly would probably be my biggest knock on him on his first
year.
Is discipline.
Absolutely.
Because like you said, you're constantly getting these penalty calls. You're constantly putting yourself at a disadvantage, especially for an offense that struggles to put plays together consistently. Mm-hmm. You make a big play and then it comes back because of a holding penalty or a time penalty or something like that.
And I'm more fine with the holding, but the extracurricular stuff where you're pushing somebody in at the end of the play when the whistle's blown, stuff like that can't happen.
Because you're messing yourself up as far as, like I was just saying, a team that struggles to be consistent on the offensive side of the ball needs those type of plays. Mm-hmm. You can't have those plays coming back because then now you're looking at third and 15 or something like that.
Not surprised at all. It consistently happens.
That was the thing. Yeah. I checked it at the I checked it in the press box during the game. As far as yardage, we're not at the top, but we're definitely like top 3, top 5, something like that.
And if you want to be a championship team, you can't beat yourselves.
Yeah, but I think that's when you're coming in and changing the culture, though. I feel like that's something that does change.
That's my biggest knock against him.
I don't think that Coach Robinson is a disciplinarian. Mm-hmm. He's a disciplinarian. I feel like he's more of a strategic players coach. And I think you see more stuff like this with players coaches just because I did the comparison to Mike Tomlin. You know, there was a lot of stuff that he allowed. As
long as you produce, I'm gonna tolerate you.
Yeah, and so I think that's something that we definitely could improve on. But that's probably my biggest knock.
Alabama's in the SEC. I know, I was being sarcastic.
The best overall player on the team?
I'm gonna have to say Bubba. You know how high I was on Demetrius before the season?
but I would have to say Bubba. He consistently shows up each and every week and always rises to the occasion, in my opinion. I think it's between him and Keenan. But I'm gonna give Bubba the edge.
Personally, I feel like I gotta go with Jeremiah. I think, and the reason why I say Jeremiah, Bubba, I agree with you on. But if I have to pick somebody else, ironically, if I have to pick somebody else, I would say Jeremiah. The reason why I say that is because I think Jeremiah does so many things well, as far as not only being the best wide receiver on the team, but also making the plays that he needs to make. Leadership is another thing that I think that he does. He does more now than I've ever seen him do. We've seen him have conversations with Levante. We've seen him kind of be more of a leader in the wide receiver locker room.
He's had a lot of growth as an individual.
Yeah, exactly. So I really think that he's definitely up there. Whenever you need a play made on offense, I think he's always there to make the play. Usually when you have like a wide receiver be one of your best offensive weapons, you don't see him in crunch time because he's getting doubled or because this is going on, because that's going on. But somehow, some way, he always finds his way to the ball, way to make plays, and I think that's something really good about it.
No, Miss, we're not gonna do it. We love the views. We appreciate that. All hate is good hate. This one, yes, a lot of inexperience on the team for sure, and that's it. It starts the quarterback position. Our defense is the most experienced part of the team, as you can see. We have a lot of new faces on offense. A lot of guys who they're transferring from these big schools where they didn't play much. Guys like Levante, Santo played at his school. Jawan played at his school, but for the most part, most of our top weapons are fairly. This is their first time getting experience.
And I think that's one of the things that I'm really outside of this season, because I know we talk a lot about this season. We talk a lot about, what's these last couple of games going to look like. The future is really bright for this team, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I think that's something that we kind of get lost in when we're talking about this season. But this could be a really good team moving forward for sure.
I could, especially if we're talking about Dion potentially even Jackson State next year. I could see us potentially being one of the best, winning the SWAC championship next year, or at least being in the conversation. When the preseason SWAC polls come out next year, ASU is not going to be towards the bottom.
Yeah,
that would be utter disrespect. Like, especially when you consider every single game we lost, throwing out the UCLA game, we could have won for sure.
Yeah, I definitely think that the future is really bright for this team.
7-4, 8-3 is great. I would much rather prefer 8-3.
We finished 5-6 last year. If my math is correct. So I mean, like that's
Coach Robinson's ahead of schedule by far.
Yeah, I mean, we won the Magic City Classic. We've had some good moments. We've had some bad moments, but I think that's part of the game. As part of the season, we gotta see how we play against FAMU. But I feel really good about the way that this team has played so far, especially after last game. I think last game, because that kind of helped me out a little bit more. I don't even know why you're very interesting. You know that.
No, I wasn't. All the reason I'm investing in that because I'm an Auburn fan, honestly. But I'm kind of mixed emotion about it. I don't really want to leave. Yeah, like Kendall said earlier, they have some really. A&M had great play calling. Especially when you talk about that fourth down cover for all three receivers across the field just to check the coverage. They have really good play calling. It's way far advanced than ours, I would say. But we don't have an offensive identity at all. I think we want to be a run-first team. However, when your offensive line is so bad, it's kind of hard to establish an identity.
I think last year, if you would have asked me what our offensive identity was, I would definitely say run first. And this would blow a lot of people's minds, but third and tens or second and longs or something like that, we're giving the ball to either Ezra Gray or Jacory.
Yeah.
It's no other play call that's gonna happen. Now I feel like we do a lot of different things, but I don't think that we've really settled on something that's kind of a calling card.
Yeah.
I know we said that we weren't gonna do this, but
you can go ahead.
Magic City Class attendance was 67,532. So thank you to everybody that showed up. It was a great experience. A lot of
had
fans. Oh yeah, it was great.
Our OC or Jack State's OC?
Hopefully not ours.
You know the dirty look.
Oh wow.
Can I go?
Sure.
All right. Offense, I'm gonna go. Jeremiah. I want the Levante, never throw him out since injury. Jeremiah, Keyshawn, Demetrius, Santo, and Ja'Cory. Defense, I'm gonna go Bubba, Keenan, Demarais, Chauncey, and Brandon Gaddy.
I feel like mine are kind of gonna be similar.
Oh, it's just one list. I guess he means like just the whole team as a general. That's you see what I'm saying now?
Oh,
The top 5 players on the team is all.
I'll agree with you on that. No, he meant like one list between the two of us. I'll agree with you.
I'll
I'll
okay.
agree with yours.
Okay.
Mine wasn't going to be much different.
Arshad hasn't had a he hasn't been bad like Kendall said, but I do feel like there have been some players on defense like Demarais and Chauncey who have outperformed him. Adrian.
Wait, who did you say? Who did you say on defense? Who did you say on defense?
Bubba, Keenan, Brandon, Demarais, and I said Chauncey, but I think I'm gonna put Adrian in there.
Over who?
Over Urshad.
You ain't say Urshad the first time though.
Oh, I over Chauncey. I said Chauncey.
Oh, that's tough.
That's
That's tough. You know I'm a big fan of Chauncey's. That's tough.
But Kendall.
All right, so let me see.
You gotta put Adrian in.
Let me see mine. All right,
You can't leave the team with turnover.
Bubba's a lot. Demarais is a lot.
You put Brandon in there?
I'm gonna put Keenan in there.
You ain't got no choice.
I'm gonna put. Dang, that's tough.
Adrian has to
I'm
go
between.
in.
Okay, I gotta put Adrian up there.
You
I got to.
Adrian did.
It's between Urshad and Chauncey, both of our safeties, man. I love both of their games too. Dang, that's.
I'm sticking to my list. I love you, Urshad, by the way. We love what you do for defense, but
I gotta go with Chauncey. Man. Golly. Dang, that's tough. That's tough.
Who do you think is leaving after the season? Senior wise, I think Bubba. Yeah, Bubba got 2 more years. I think that Miles hits the transfer portal. I definitely think that Miles hits the transfer portal due to the fact that it seems like we're gonna stick. If Demetrius had been healthy and we were stuck with Miles, I think that Demetrius would leave. But it seems like they really, really want Demetrius to start because they continuously go back to him even due to injuries. So I think that Miles' transfer portal. I think he was better than any quarterback A&M on the field.
I mean, I think that when you have a situation like this where you have a new coach coming in and that brings in his, I think that you kind of as a second string or starter, whatever you are, I feel like you automatically feel some type of way. I think Miles has competed with him
very well.
Yeah, I don't think that there's anything else Miles really could have done to compete with him. Maybe he could have, played a couple better possessions.
Stop turning the ball over so much.
But I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really feel like he could have done too much to really, all right, this is my spot. You got to take it from me.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that Demetrius is a very talented individual. Miles is as well, but I think that as coming in with your quarterback, your pick as quarterback, I feel like that's kind of what they did. So
we would love to get another shot at Jackson State next year. We'd love to. I mean, that's gonna be a big hyped up game next year. Can we talk about College Game Day real quick? Saying we were gonna lose A&M. I think they were just saying that because they were in Jackson.
I'm gonna be honest. I
don't think they know about it.
Yeah, I didn't really think because none of their criticisms really were based on anything like too concrete.
Mm-hmm. They didn't know what they were talking about.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like that wasn't. I didn't really put too much stock into that anyway. But I mean, hey, they had us to sweep and we beat them. So I guess that's the biggest.
Can I be honest right here?
I just want to say it's recruiting. It's not. I'm not gonna go off the ladder. Honestly, and this is just 1,000% honest, no bias. I'm kind of very torn on what I want to happen for Coach Prime. I'm an Auburn football fan, so I would love for him to go to Auburn and turn it around. I would love to see him and Nick Saban face off in the Iron Bowl. But at the same time, I know what his loss would do to the SWAC as a conference. I know what it would do to Jackson State. I don't want him to leave and we just lose all relevance as soon as he leaves. You know, that would be a big loss for sure. I mean, but to be fair, and you know Jackson State, if he leaves, he's taking all his players with him, by the way. But how do y'all feel about if Coach Prime leaves? Y'all want him to leave or stick around for a couple more years? He's leaving at some point regardless, but what you looking at?
Trying to look up Nelson Jordan stats from last game.
I'm not thinking into that. But yeah, like we said, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, donate to the Cash App. We appreciate that. Where is this comment at? Yeah, I'll go back to it. Like I said, Miles, you got any other players leaving potentially? I think our receiving
at least one of the tight ends. I feel like. We've been talking about. I feel like when your offense doesn't cater towards the tight end as far as receivers, especially since I'm not exactly sure if we had any tight ends leave last year, but as pass catchers, I don't really feel like we utilize our tight ends to the best of our ability. So.
Yeah, Joe is. I think.
Yeah, I can see Joe leaving too.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think Joe could be a starter somewhere, or at least a second string.
I don't think either one of Miles or Joe are bad quarterbacks by any means, especially after what they did last year. You know, all three of those quarterbacks, and I said it, all three of those quarterbacks were very. They were competent at different points during the season, which I think is the reason why we had three quarterbacks play last season. So.
Mm-hmm. This Avis health dude is so hateful. Jackson State fans gonna travel deep with us, right? That's how it's always gonna be from this point forward.
Part of the 40 people on the stream, so we love it.
Yeah.
But Nelson Jordan. We talked about the defensive line. The defensive line play. I think that he was a really good. He was really good last game. I think that he. You know, we talked about a line that isn't always as consistent with pressure, and I think that he was a pretty consistent presence. We heard his name called a couple of times last game, and you know he made.
I like Ogletree better, honestly. Again, you can't tell. You really can't tell. Completely.
You spell his name Myles, by the way.
He ain't going to Auburn. Wait. Oh.
I don't know what. See,
I'm just clicking. Torn ace, not torn ace. He's out for the season though.
Yeah. As far as specific injury, we're not sure.
Yeah. I think it was shoulder though. I want to say.
Yeah.
Natron Culpepper has been in and out of rotation. He was a starter at the beginning of the season, but
shoulder.
Yeah, not high on Natron anymore like I was for this season. DB is definitely strong. One of the deeper positions I'm seeing though.
We saw that because I remember, a couple games ago they pulled out a couple of guys we had never seen before.
One man said, "Move Davis a slot receiver."
That was actually pretty funny. Yeah. Chauncey. I feel like Chauncey's the best.
Y'all gotta start talking about Chauncey and Demaris in these conferences.
Yeah.
If y'all at every ASU game, number 8 and number 11, keep your eye on them, please.
Chauncey, I definitely feel like is the best man cover. Personally, I mean, I've been saying pretty much all season. Just from what I've seen, I think Keenan can do zone and man, but I feel like Chauncey does have a little bit of a upper hand on that though.
Yo.
What's up, guys? Oh yeah, Victor. Yeah, I definitely number 16. I definitely think that he's gonna be pretty good too.
He got subbed in for. I want to say this was the Prairie View game. He got subbed in for Natron because Natron was struggling.
And he's been in the lineup. Oh yeah, Mikey Victor. Yeah, he's been in and out of the lineup, or he's been in the lineup pretty consistently since then. So
and played fairly well. Like
he's
I said,
a sophomore UNLV transfer. So
I like the home and home, ASU versus ASU homecoming, Mexican burger, which goes to brands for sure. I'll be honest with you, and me and Kendall talk about this all the time.
I wish the ASU would have claimed this I'm swag and who ain't swag, all this a lot more than we have for branding purposes. But you know, things happen. Offensive line better be the first thing we get over anything else. Like I said, bring back the same roster from next year, from this year. Just give me a new O-line. I'm set.
I feel like having more consistent off the line play would show me a little bit more about what else we need. I feel like offensively, I think it's kind of hard to tell right now, because you could say we need better tight ends, but we're using a majority of our tight ends and our fullbacks as far as like whatever personnel grouping we're bringing out there. We're using a lot of that for.
Creech has been the best blocker on the team this year.
Yeah, we're using a lot of that for blocking purposes. So
like, comment, subscribe, y'all.
Yeah, we're using a lot of that for blocking purposes. So I feel like it's a little hard to tell.
His discipline has to be better though.
His discipline is something that holds him back as well. Haven't heard much about recruiting yet. All I know is we're in the running for potentially 2 5-stars over here in Montgomery.
I think he should definitely win it. I don't think there's been anybody else that's performed. We have a lot of guys in this defense that are all going. Bubba will make all SWAC. Keenan will make all SWAC. Adrian will make all SWAC. Those three are locks for me for sure.
I think Jeremiah should make all SWAC personally. Yeah, so I feel like that's a question for offensive scheme, offensive coordinator type things, because like I said, I don't know if it's just because we're using our tight ends majority for blocking purposes, or if it's one of those situations where our tight ends are, we just don't have a lot of play calling for our tight ends to run a lot of routes. But I definitely think that we need to utilize them more. I feel like that would make DD's job a lot easier as well. So I don't really know exactly how that's going to work, but I guess we'll see what happens. And hopefully next year we can have a little bit more parity when it comes to our tight end play. I'm so happy he does, because I really want to see him and Levante play a full season together.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that they could be one of the best wide receiver duos in the league.
We're gonna add some more receivers this offseason too, so that'll be fun. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, please.
We appreciate the comments though, guys. This has been a pretty good live so far. Probably got another 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like we said, for those of you who are just tuning in, we have a pretty busy week this week. We got our thoughts on the basketball team from their scrimmage versus Huntington College yesterday, and then we're also going to talk about the soccer team who's about to start SWAC tournament play too. So we got that either tomorrow or Thursday. So make sure you guys stay posted, and we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Dang, I didn't even know he was playing UAPB next year.
I mean, they're underwhelming. very solid tight end. Lost on us a couple times last year. Don't think it's gonna happen this year.
I don't even want to see that dude.
Hopefully we don't play down to the competition though. That's what I'm hoping. Yeah, we're going to Jackson State next year. Yeah. It was outstanding.
It was insane. It was insane.
I don't think it. For some odd reason, and any ASU people here, correct me if I'm wrong. The classic, as far as the stands, they're usually a lot more full. Ever since COVID, like prior to COVID, it was a lot more full. There was no empty seat in the stadium. Ever since COVID happened, it's been decreased. Now it was more people this year than last year, but hopefully we can. I need our fan base to show up more because A&M was definitely they outdid us this year.
I mean, like I said earlier, we had about 67,532 people in the stadium. So I mean, or in game attendance. So it was a really good experience, especially for me. That was my first classic to have that many people. So I think it was really good to see. But I loved it. I loved it personally. I think the way the game was set up too was really good too. With it coming down to the wire, I think it made it more interesting. I think the excitement as far as everybody, they kind of felt it a little bit more. So it was definitely a really good experience.
Yeah, for sure. Bubba deserves to make first team for sure. All three of them deserve to make first team. I don't just think either one of them. If anybody's gonna be honorable mention, it's gonna be Adrian.
Yeah, because I feel like Adrian might not have the numbers necessarily, but
not the numbers.
He might not have the numbers as far as like some of the things that he does doesn't necessarily show up as big on the stat sheet as it does in game. Especially considering how old he is. He's only 17. Mm-hmm. Especially considering everything that the defense does, as well. You have a good defense. So the fact that he's making plays as a freshman is big.
Encouraging.
So, yeah.
Our discipline has to be a whole lot better. I hope that's, like Kendall said, that's the biggest knock I have against Coach Robinson, not having his team more disciplined and more locked in. Because sometimes we're a very emotional team. Mm-hmm. Very emotional.
I think emotion is good. Is a good thing. I think especially in football, emotion is a really good thing. Yeah. I just think that sometimes we kind of get a little carried away, mm-hmm. and I feel like it can be to our detriment sometimes. Because like I said, I think we have a lot of potential. I think that we have a lot of bright spots on this team. We can put things together, but sometimes you shoot yourself in the foot and it's hard to overcome.
Absolutely, but I won't even say. I think our student body has to get better as well. There's a lot of things that have to improve on as far as on the sports department, athletic department as a whole, as far as promotion for these games. Encouraging people to come out and selling this team because we have a really, really good football team. We have some really, really good sports on this campus, and they don't get near the support they should. We talk about the girls' basketball team. They don't support. They should. I don't know what has to change, but we got to get some more support for these teams.
I think it's, and like you said, I don't think that it's just limited to basketball and football. I think that it goes a lot beyond that because
you got Splash Championship baseball team.
Yeah, you also got to think about how good our golf team is, how good our bowling team is, and how good our baseball team, softball, all of these different teams that play these games, tennis team, all of these different teams that play, and they don't necessarily get the appreciation, the credit that they deserve. So I definitely think that's something that needs to be addressed because all of these teams, the volleyball team, all of these teams have been playing well. All of these teams have been, doing what they need to do. They make sacrifices as student athletes. They do what they need to do. So I definitely think that they deserve a lot more credit.
I don't think that Deion, if he goes to Auburn, they will make him. I think they will make him tone down a little bit. Talking about your girls, man.
You see, I didn't move.
I mean, yeah, but I also think social media could be a lot better.
I think it's gotten better. It has. But that bar wasn't that high to begin with. So I think that it has gotten better, but I think that it could benefit from getting a lot better. For sure. You got people working in it that's been doing some pretty good work.
Working very hard.
But I think that it could still be a lot better.
Okay.
Another 5 minutes left.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that this season for Coach Robinson was big, especially when you talk about the momentum that he's had over the last month. You talk about the homecoming situation. You talk about winning Master Classic. Coach Robinson's stock will never be higher than it is right now. I don't believe.
Yeah, I think that we fast or rewind to last season around this time. It was laughing stocks. Especially the Magic City Classic. Of course, you talk a whole lot of trash and stuff like that, and then when you don't come out on top, I think it's a lot more of that. So, shout out to Vitamin J. But
Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, for sure. Like, comment, and subscribe on the stream. Follow our socials at Wildcard2K, Twitter, Instagram. Make sure y'all show your support.
Yeah, the girls definitely need some support. Kendall's been talking about that since 2020.
Man, what? Okay, all right, real quick. I have to real quick. I don't understand how I definitely don't understand. The men's basketball team, little preview to tomorrow or Thursday. I like the men's basketball team. I like them a lot better now than I have in the past 2 years. I don't understand how they're one of the worst in the SWAC, but the girls are constantly going to SWAC championships and they don't get the credit that they deserve. I don't get it. Y'all will see live and in person this year that I'm very passionate about women's basketball. I'm very passionate about this team. So expect me to be going crazy this year for sure.
Shout out to the girls.
All right, I'm done. I ain't gonna do too much. They said the band need to get into the game. What game are you referring to?
I think they mean just us being better.
Oh, fair. I'll agree with you on that. Give her her flowers.
We gotta win one of these things, though. Yeah, exactly.
They put on.
What we said, softball won the chip last year, or was it the year before that?
Year before.
Volleyball be doing their thing. We got a lot of great women's athletics on this campus for sure.
Mm-hmm. 2 more minutes, by another minute and a half. I mean.
Yeah. Oh yeah, having a band there definitely changes the atmosphere of every game that you go to. Whether it's a basketball games feel like football games because just the atmosphere, the noise, all of that type of stuff, the music. So
and don't forget Stinger.
Oh yeah, Stinger be at everything though. Pretty much, it seemed like.
We gotta get Stinger some. Not antlers.
Antenna.
Because
antenna in the wings.
He walk around looking like a mad ant. Gotta give him some antenna.
I love how you stole that from me.
I know that's Kendall's saying, but
yes. I just like to see my man in a full ensemble.
Yeah, and we gotta give him an actual Stinger. Back when I was a little bit younger, I'm saying it like I'm old now, but he had a Stinger.
Kind of old.
He had a Stinger in the wings and antenna, and yeah, clean his full uniform because the feet do look kind of dirty sometimes. But
I mean, the man be walking with you.
Shout out to Stinger.
Shout out to Stinger was not how I expected this to end, but.
I forgot what I did. I think I was more excited when we won the game because I knew the game went over right then.
No, real quick. I was saying as soon as we scored that touchdown, I was saying it's over with. We good. It's over. I've never been that confident in this team since the season started. This man was talking about, man, I don't know. He was, man, the dude to be wearing Bama State by 50 wasn't sure if he was gonna win the game. I was there though. I had all my Bama State spirit. I don't care what you said.
You were.
I did. I said it's over with. I said it's over.
The roles were flipped.
I said it's over.
He did.
It's over. We came out with the chip. So we came out with the win. So maybe I need to have a little bit more confidence in the team. Maybe. He folded big time.
I didn't
Big
fold.
time.
I didn't fold.
Big
but
time.
I said I know the game isn't over.
Big time. That man didn't get up until it was 0-0 on the scoreboard.
Second. See if I can get the video open.
Folded. Yeah, he was definitely excited though. He was definitely excited. We all was. I've never been that excited about a football game like that.
If I could have ran the field, I would.
Oh yeah, we would have stormed the field for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. We definitely would have stormed the field.
I think we was all worried at halftime about like this.
Yeah, they showed some heart, and that's what I was talking about. I needed to see them do that because you can play against a good team or you can play against a bad team and beat them. You can play against a team that's not as good as you, make mistakes and still beat them. But what's really going to teach me how good you are as a team is when you really need to score, when you really need something to go your way, and you do it. You don't hesitate. You just do it. I feel like that's what they did, and that's why I was so proud of them. I mean, they did what they needed to do. Shout out to Coach Robinson. Shout out to all the players.
Shut a lot of people up.
Oh, for sure. Shout out to all the players, Demetrius and Colton for getting their awards. Shout out to everybody, man. That was a great game, great experience. Had a great time, man. I'm happy, bro.
I need
I'm
to
happy.
put the antennas back on my dog, man, and some wings. But
Oh yeah, the wings is how you take the wings off of a
and the stinger,
but the wings is crazy.
And
Wings.
But the stinger, his name is Stinger. He don't have a stinger.
Where was the stinger at?
He doesn't have one.
But where was it?
It was on his butt.
So he just was walking around with a. Never mind. I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that, bro. But you got anything else for the people, man?
Let's wrap it up, man.
Hey, man, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate the love, the support, the hate, all of that. We appreciate it. Thank y'all for tuning in to us again. Like I said before, make sure y'all tune in tomorrow or tomorrow, Thursday. We got some basketball and some soccer content for y'all. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure y'all follow us on all of our socials, Wildcard2K, Twitter, and Instagram. We appreciate the love. We appreciate everything that y'all do for us.
The Bulldogs sticking
Hey, and we're gonna see y'all tomorrow or Thursday. So make sure y'all come back. And much love to y'all. We're gonna see y'all later.
Only for dates.
All right, we're gonna end it off on that. Appreciate y'all.